Halo 2. Y'all, I'm pretty sure I've just cracked an age-old mystery. Well, it actually hasn't really been questioned much, but I have found out, and I'll provide lots of evidence, that the missions Delta, Halo, and Regret in Halo 2 are Forerunner ruins, yes, but they are human Forerunner ruins. Let me repeat that. They are human ruins with some Forerunner sprinkled in there. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, first off, it's made out of stone, a primal material. I just learned primal is pronounced primal. It's kind of like a primal material. On the missions, Sentinel walls, everything is metal and high tech and lights, flashy lights, but not in Delta Halo, okay? Okay, hold on. First off, there's human head statues in Delta Halo, okay? So I think that is proof alone, but we're just gonna go ahead and entertain the opposite view in this video, and we will look around the entire ruins. So we got the human head statues. We have gondolas, okay, for creatures that cannot fly. Humans. And let me tell you what, humans may have not been solely Forerunners. It could have been a mixture of the flying things like Sentinels and humans. But we have gondolas, which obviously you need something that can't fly to utilize a gondola that floats across the ocean. And let's just look at some of the environment here, these ruins. Okay, guys, come on. There's bleachers here for bipedal creatures to sit on, humans to sit on. There are bleachers here. And also, get this. I managed to find this old screenshot that's been floating around, and it looks like, it is basically, it's Delta Temple, this mission, right? The old human ruin. But fascinating again, look. Zoom in. This is a different decal that's present in the game today, the vanilla game. And this decal, you guys, it is literally two humans like leaning their backs up against each other. How more clear does it get than this? I'm pretty sure this decal was changed because it tells you that there's humans here. There's a decal of two humans. We already have the stone heads, but this just further solidifies these are human intertwined ruins with the Forerunners. The human connection to the Forerunner. And this decal today, I found this kind of similar one. It's kind of like, it's more ambiguous, like I just said. It's kind of like, you can't really tell if it's a human face or an animal or even a robot face or something, but that definitely right there is two humans leaning their backs up against each other. I know there's something, I don't know, man. There's something called precursors that are like these strange Forerunner things that look exactly like humans. But this was all lore that was made after Halo 2. So it's like, this precursors weren't around when Halo 2 was made, y'all. This is human stuff right here. And get this. I'm gonna go through the sound effects. I might not include them all of Cortana's lines, but there's one where she kind of alludes to the fact that these ruins could be a university. It's not clear exactly what the ruins are, but listen to this line by Cortana where she alludes to them being a university.
I wish I had time to decipher these inscriptions. The Forerunners revered this place, that much is clear. But was it a temple, a university? I can't say.
But during the mission, it's kind of like even Cortana doesn't quite know what they are, so they never actually tell you what exactly they are.
These structures seem Forerunner, but they're much older than anything we ever found on the first Halo. I think the Forerunners built these new structures around the old, to protect them, honor them. Pure speculation, mind you. I'd need to make a thorough survey to be sure.
She just alludes to them to being some ancient Forerunner type structures, or structures that the Forerunners want to preserve. And check out this marine dialogue where they relate this place to their home world, Earth. I think this is interesting because could it allude to the structures being human?
Kinda reminds me of back home.
Kinda reminds me of back home, mate.
And actually, at the beginning of the level, it's mostly stone structures. And there are also metal structures. But most interestingly is some buildings have a combination of like stone and metal. This is very, very, very fascinating. This tells me that whatever built the stone structures, they were built at the same time as whoever could build the metal structures. This tells me that humans were kind of like working along the sentinels and the robot type machines, because they did their part in with what they had with the stone structures, and then the more elaborate, metal and metal designs were done by something greater than humans that could perform this. And again, this kind of tells me and you guys that the stone and metal structures were built simultaneously. Oh, and also I'm going to open up Blender. Well, obviously these ruins are dilapidated, so there's like columns and stuff that have fallen down. I'm going to try to recreate exactly what it was. Like if a column has fallen down, I'm going to set it back up straight and then see what the overall structure looks like. I don't know, to see if it resembles anything from like humanity or if it's just all oblique. So unfortunately, I couldn't find much semblance when I repaired the structures. It didn't really quite make sense where the columns were supposedly stacked up at. It seems like they were intentionally laid downward on the map for like a gameplay design, but they didn't quite make sense when I tried to rearrange them. It didn't form anything structural. Oh, and also there's like this little like museum display piece only once in the entire map. I was really excited to see what was in here, but sadly it looks just like a placeholder. What it is just like a shrunken down version of the columns that I was trying to repair earlier. It's like the same exact model as them. So, what does all of this tell us? To me, I think humans came before the Forerunners, or constructed the Forerunners, meaning like the Sentinels and all those robot type things. And they did so to protect themselves from the flood. They created these Sentinels to protect themselves from the flood. We can see this because they were getting the heavy machinery help in building these structures. They started out with stones, but then progressively throughout the map, it turned into more and more of elaborate metals, starting with a combination of metal and stone structures, and then turning almost fully into this elaborate metal with these carvings and operable doors and gravity lifts and these magical elevators. I was really excited to explore the underwater sections, but it was kind of a jumbled mess. I couldn't make sense of anything that was down here. There were these three like elongated structures that kind of look like fingers of a hand. But again, it's just so like low poly, you can't really even tell. And I do plan to revisit like the lore aspect of what all of this means, but I'm still kind of conjuring ideas for that to explain the lore behind this a little bit more. But for what we can see in this video is obviously humans had a part in building these stone structures. All these structures on this island are human. The stone ones are all human. We've established that. Now, where the metal parts come in is made by maybe a product of humans. They could have created these machinery like the Sentinels, probably to save themselves from the flood, but again, I'm going to go more in depth on that in a future video. And all this proof of the architecture being human-made, partly human-made on Delta Halo and the mission Regret, this is just kind of like foreshadowing what the original Halo 2 ending would have been, which was shown off in cut storyboards, where at the end of the game, the Arbiter would open a coffin, a Forerunner coffin, and there would be a skeleton inside from a human. So I'm theorizing that the missions Delta Halo and Regret with this human architecture was obviously made before the true ending was cut. It's just foreshadowing this image that humans were Forerunners, or humans were intertwined with the Forerunners, stopping the flood from eating their ending their, biological life forms. So yeah, it's kind of ironic. These ruins are truly lost to time because ending was kind of cut out of the game, and we never really got to see the true form of the Forerunners after all. These ruins are just halted in their time and place in the galaxy of the Halo ring. Okay, so I actually have a little bonus section for y'all. I just found out the multiplayer map called Sanctuary is based off of the Delta Halo and Regret single player mission. So, if we can also examine the map Sanctuary. Now, this one actually has a description. It says its original purpose is lost to the eons of time. However, it now stands as a graveyard for brave warriors. I didn't quite get what this meant, because if we go into the map, I don't see anything that resembles a graveyard or anything like that. But this description could just be referencing that it's a multiplayer map and everybody fights on it. I don't really know. But now looking at the human aspect of this map, and unfortunately nothing really stands out to me as human other than it being a primal structure that is often found on Earth, like the pyramids or something like that. But yeah, nothing stands out to me as being human. Actually, there is just one thing, and this is what I was searching for all over Delta Halo and Regret missions, are stairs. There are stairs on Sanctuary. Stairs? Flying creatures don't use stairs like the Sentinels. These are for, terrestrial things like bipedal animals such as humans. So yeah, there's actually a few quite small, but still a few amount of staircases on Sanctuary that are not present on Delta Halo. So take this as you will. Not much evidence here on Sanctuary, but again, it's just like a little area of a larger environment. Supposedly a graveyard, but I don't see. There's just some scattered rocks, but that's all there is here.
With your death, humanity's annihilation is assured.
Your assistance was timely. I am in your debt.